Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here at Book Blather. Whoop, you alright? If you're new here, I'm Dave, this is Olive, and we try to have a little fun while we mostly talk about books to help spread the joy of reading, right? Right? Yeah. So, guys, we found another one. If you so recently we put up a video that we had found what we thought was the best used bookshop we have ever seen, called Caliban Books, or the Caliban Book Shop in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it was incredible. It was a couple floors, and it was just jam packed with so many used books. And in particular, we went down the science fiction and pulp fiction section. They had all this vintage stuff. We had never seen anything quite like that. It was absolutely amazing. We were there for a few hours, and we were like, so upset that we had to leave and we'd never be back because I was just there visiting. It's far away, and I was visiting a college for my daughter. So anyway, now my daughter is going. She has selected a college in Massachusetts that she will be going to this coming year. And so when we went there a couple months ago for Admitted Students Day, we passed a road sign that's right near the school that said Gray Matter Books. And I said, "Wow, that would, it was like one of those green road signs. So if you see a green road sign, you're like, okay, that's got to be somewhat significant, right?" So, but I didn't see it. Couldn't find it. So when I got home, I looked it up on the internet, and there was a few pictures there, and it looked like a cool bookshop. So now we went. Now that my daughter is going to be going there, we went for like this orientation that they do in the summertime for the kids. And so I said, this time, can we please just take a little time to go check it out? So my daughter and my wife were very kind, and we went and found the bookshop. It was really difficult to find, which I'll show you in a second, but this place was amazing. It was the Caliban Bookshop 2.0. It was basically the same thing. It was the same type of thing. It was big inside, lots of used stuff, great vintage science fiction, pulp fiction stuff. It was amazing. I only had a very, very short time in there because my family's waiting for me. But I will be going back multiple times because my daughter is going to school there. So, like always with these, let me show you the footage of the place first because it's really cool, and then we're going to show you the books that we got there. So, right here you can see when we're coming up on the place. So yeah, as you could see, it was really cool. They had a lot of cool vintage science fiction stuff there. And so my family very graciously waited for me. I did get like 30, 40 minutes in there, but that was to like look, and they just waited for me because they know how much I love that sort of thing. So it was really nice of them. They just waited for me outside. And so, but in that 30, 40 minutes, I had to look at stuff and actually talk to them and get my footage and stuff like that. So I didn't get to look for that much stuff, but definitely going back. But we did acquire a number of things. We move fast. We try to be efficient with this stuff, and we got some cool things. The first thing is, I noticed after I got home, when I was looking at the bookmark that they gave me, this Gray Matter Books, it's on 47 East Street in Hadley, Massachusetts. But what I did not know until after I got home, when I flipped this bookmark over, on the other side, they apparently also have an outfit at 264 York Street in New Haven, Connecticut. And I'm in Connecticut. So New Haven's not around the corner, but it's not that far. So I'm going to have to go check that one out too. But I will definitely be going back to this one in Hadley, Massachusetts, because like I said, that my daughter's going to be going to school near there. So go right by it, basically. So this is what we picked up this time, but it was only this time. We'll be getting a lot. There was a lot of stuff there we wanted. We were just... Anyway, okay, so we'll get right into it. So the first thing really cool that we were really excited to find were these. We found Star Trek II and Star Trek III by James Blish. So I know Brandy over at Booklectic is going to be very excited that we found these, and because she was trying to convince us that we should read more than just one book for Book Trek. If you don't know, Book Trek is a summer-long, I think it's summer-long, booktube event run by Vin over at Revenant Reads. And we like Trek. We don't read Trek books, but we love the Trek shows. We did read one of these last year. We read Star Trek 10. And these volumes by James Blish, each one is, I think it's 6 stories. I think they're all about 6 stories. Like 6, 7 stories. And each story is a very short story that is an actual episode from the original Star Trek series with William Shatner. And so it's basically like a little novelization of the episodes, basically. So each story is like 30 pages, 20, 30 pages or something. And so we read Star Trek 10 last year, which was, we had a fun time with it. So we were very excited to find these, number 2 and 3, out there in the wild. And these are, since this is 2 and 3, these are ones that were actually still written by Blish. Some of those last couple ones, I think it went up to like 12 or something. Story is, Blish didn't actually write those. He kind of there's different stories about it, but so allegedly, a lot of those stories towards the end, some of those things were written by his Olive's sister. Here we go again. Same story. Hey, what's on? Can we stay focused? Let's stay focused, okay? You want to stay focused here? And those later books, supposedly they were written, some of them written by his wife, and I think even his mother-in-law. But anyway, these are early ones written by Blish, so we were pretty excited to find these. Okay. Then we found this. Check this out. The best rootin', tootin', shootin' gunslinger in the whole damn galaxy by Mike Resnick. Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look awesome? So this is... this is like it just looks like wonderfully like ridiculous. This might have been good for June on the Range, right? Nice mesh of June of Western and science fiction, but you can just tell from the cover it looks crazy. So this is actually book 4. Apparently there's a series called Tales of the Galactic Midway. This is book 4, so there was 3 before this. So this just looks like good fun. So I don't know too much about these, of course. I haven't read them yet. So, but all I know is what I see on the covers. But so the next one is The Space Egg by Russ Winterbotham. Look at that, Space Egg. That's one of those books like title and cover. How can you not get it just based on that? But this is about. So I think this is about an egg that hits this astronaut spaceship. and it starts this electrical virus that turns men into ruthless monsters. This sounds awesome. Okay, then we picked up this one, The Animal People by Stanton A. Koblenz. So if you, as you might have already noticed, we pretty much spent the limited time we had in the vintage science fiction section. So that's pretty much what we got there. This one is apparently there. I guess there are a number of books in this series, whatever you want to call them, of these. See, it says here, "A Strange Tale of Exploration and Anthropology in the Not Too Distant Future." So this particular one sounds like has like a Planet of the Apes feel. It sounds like it's about these people that wake up in the far, far future, and there are intelligent ape creatures, and the humans are more like slaves. And so, this is one, I think, in a series of different of these science fiction novels that explore. Oh yeah, the Outlander series. It says right here, where they explore like they're different anthropology science fiction tales from different. Like one is like the Moon People, and there's a couple different ones. So anyway, they had other ones there actually, but we figured we'd pick up one. We never even heard of this author. We figured we'd pick up one for now and see how it goes. We'll probably read that soon, and I'm sure the other ones will still be there when we go back, because we'll be back there before very long. So we also got this. We're very excited about this. This is our first one of these. So as some of you may know, one of the science fiction pulp science fiction mags that is not around anymore, that was a big science fiction magazine a while back, is Galaxy. And this I already had this. I have a couple issues of the old Galaxy magazine, but Galaxy also put out a number of novels. Like, it looked like magazine form, but it was just an individual novel. And so this is the first time I've seen this in the wild. So this is the first one that I've acquired, and this is it: The City in the Sea by Wilson Tucker. We were very excited to find this. You can see it retailed for 35 cents at the time. This is Galaxy Science Fiction Novel number 11, complete and unabridged. And this is about, I don't know too much, but that guy on the cover, he finds this like whole army of women, and they go to explore some, I don't know, they go to fight or explore on some land. I don't really know. I don't know much about it. I don't really care. I'm excited to get it, and I'm excited to read it. Okay, then we picked up this. This just sounded wild. This is The Cleft by Paul Tabori. Okay, and this sounds like a nice mix of stuff. There's like a fissure shows up in New York City, and it starts to threaten New York, and there's different characters involved. So I actually should probably, I hate reading the back story. Just look at the cover. Look at that. Look how scandalous that looks on the cover there. So it says, first it was a tiny crack, then a good-sized fissure, then a chasm so vast that it threatened to swallow up all of New York by nightfall. A highly placed official was deeply concerned. If the city went, his job went with it. The official's hyperactive wife didn't even notice the impending cataclysm. She was too busy playing the wildest sex game in town. And her indefatigable partner, I don't know if I pronounced that right, was the only man who could save New York from total disaster. So this sounds pretty wild. This author, I haven't read him yet, but he also wrote The Green Rain, which is another science fiction novel that we had picked up at Caliban that we were also anxious to read. So we'll probably read these two by him relatively soon. We might read them maybe in Rocket Summer coming up, Michael K. Vaughan's event, Rocket Summer, that does vintage science fiction, which we are pretty excited about. We also then picked up a few of these ace science fiction classics. So the first one here is the Crossroads of Time by Andre Norton. So I'm sure many of you heard of Andre Norton. If you like science fiction at all, you've heard of Andre Norton. She's written many science fiction novels, well-respected science fiction author. We've recently been talking about how we've been collecting like the Tarzan novels in these Ace science fiction classic versions. I'll try to put that corner up there close. I don't know if you can see that. So these Ace science fiction classics, it's not just the Tarzan ones we've been getting. We've been starting to collect a lot of these Ace science fiction classics, most of which are science fiction. Obviously Ace science fiction classics, but there's some fantasy stuff in there. But this I don't know why, but we just really like these. I don't know. We just think they're really cool, these old things. And these were put out by Ace in the 50s and the 60s. And I think it ran from like 53 to 68 or something. And they're numbered, and there's different letter series. Like this is F391, and so altogether there's like the Ace doubles that we've talked about before. That you have two novels in one. You flip it over, it's another novel. Some of those are generally included in this mass collection of Ace science fiction classics. They're kind of the same size, but a little thicker because there's two novels in one. But so the different lettered series, if you add them all up, there's like almost 400 of them, I think. So, we don't get every single one we have because that's a lot of books, but we have started to pick them up piece by piece, and so we're gonna have to start get a list going because who knows, maybe by the time we're done years from now we'll actually end up with all of them. So, but in the meantime, we pick up every one of these that we think looks interesting. So this one, The Crossroads of Time by Andre Norton, this is a story. This is a alternate Earth story where the guy travels between alternate versions of Earth. I absolutely love those kind of stories, so that's why we picked this one up. The next one we picked up is The Trial of Terra by Jack Williamson. And this is, I think, again, I only know so much about these things, but because I haven't read them yet, but I think this little thing here you see in this picture, this is like some alien thing that shows up on Earth. And I think it's like they're like watchers, and they're judging humanity, I think, and that's pretty much all I know. But I don't know. It sounded kind of cool. The next one I picked up is Beyond the Stars by Ray Cummins. Look at just all these covers. They're just so cool, right? So cool. A little bit on the back there. And I forget what this one was about. This was is the entire universe just one of the atoms of some even greater cosmos? Such was the conception of one scientist, and his effort to prove this theory was to take a party of Americans on an expedition to a place that was literally beyond the stars. So, sounded cool. Okay, so this one is the Dream Master by Roger Zelazny. I'm trying to get these up so you guys can see the whole cover. And this has to do with, it basically talked about, like just exploring the last frontier, which is the dream world. And, the psychology engineer that wanted to enter a man's mind, experience his thoughts, live with his dreams, and redirect and control those soaring universe-creating visions, which are the essence of all thinking. So, I don't know, it just sounded neat. And then this one, Thangor of Lemuria, Lynn Carter. So, Lynn Carter, famous, well-known, old fantasy, I guess you would call it, writer. So, Lynn Carter's well-known. She's on a bunch of books, too, like kind of in the tradition of Edgar Rice Burroughs. And so this is, we've been enjoying the the Tarzan books. We don't have any books by Lynn Carter yet, but this is, you can see right from the cover, it's very much a sort of a Tarzan style adventure. So this character Thangor goes to the lost continent of Lemuria and battles some savage beastmen and all that. So we figured we would give this a try since we like the Tarzan so much. Okay, and then the last one we picked up this one, a science fiction classic, The Best from Fantasy and Science Fiction. This is the 12th edition, and so, or the 12th, volume, we already had one of these. We got the 6th volume, so we're definitely gonna keep a lookout for this and try to put together as many of these as we can. So yeah, so we're excited to get this one as well. Did I show that? I think I showed it pretty close, right? Yep. So yeah, so these were all good condition, and so we picked them up. If they're in really bad condition, we're not gonna grab them. But we any of those science fiction classics that look intriguing to us that are in decent condition, we're picking them up. So, and this, just like Caliban, the average price of these were like I think they were $2 a piece. Some were a little less, some were a little more. So amazing. I mean, finding this science fiction, it's such vintage science fiction stuff at those reasonable prices. So I can't wait to go back there. I'd say we can, but you can't come because Olive doesn't like long car rides. So, and you wouldn't be very good in the bookstore because you'd bark at everybody, right? You'd bark at everybody, I think, wouldn't you? Yeah, probably. So anyway, all right. So that's it, guys. That's our haul from Gray Matter Books. We would, if you were ever near Hadley, Massachusetts, Massachusetts, we would definitely recommend checking it out. We have not seen the store in New Haven yet, so we can't recommend or not recommend it, but I'm really hoping it's a lot like that one in Hadley, Massachusetts. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again very soon, but in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.